Melissa Jefferson Wooden just beat Olympic champion Julien Alfred in one of the strongest 100-meter races of the year. Alfred ran her fastest time of the season. Sha'Carri Richardson was in the same field, and Melissa still won. But the next race makes this rivalry even bigger. On August 23, 2026, the women's 100 meters at the Silesia Diamond League in Korzeń, Poland, looked more like a championship final than a normal meet. Melissa arrived as the reigning world champion. Alfred was the Olympic champion, and Richardson had won the world title in 2023. Even deeper than that, the field included the top three from the 2024 Olympic 100-meter final and the top three from the 2025 World Championship final. That meant there was nowhere to hide. One poor start, one weak middle section, or one bad final step could cost several places. Melissa was not lining up against one dangerous rival. She was lining up against women who had already proved they could handle Olympic and world final pressure. Alfred also came in with something important to protect. She had not lost a race in 2026 across the 100 and 200 meters. Every time she had stepped on the track that season, she had found a way to win. Melissa knew she was not chasing a runner who was out of form. She was facing an Olympic champion who had been perfect all year. When the gun fired, Melissa did not wait for the race to come to her. She got out cleanly, built speed through the middle, and put herself in front before Alfred could turn the final meters into a rescue mission. Alfred stayed close and began to press late, but Melissa had already done enough work early. The clock showed 10.78 for Jefferson Wooden with a legal plus 0.6 wind. Alfred crossed in 10.83, her best 100-meter time of the 2026 season, while Richardson finished third in 10.96. Brianna Liston also ran 10.96 in fourth, showing just how little room there was for mistakes behind the leaders. That is the first reason this win matters. Alfred did not have a bad day and hand the race away. She ran faster than she had all season, over 100 meters, and still finished second. Melissa had to beat a strong version of the Olympic champion, not a struggling one. The second reason is what the result ended. Alfred's perfect 2026 run was over. She had carried an unbeaten record into Silesia, and Jefferson Wooden became the first woman to stop it. World Athletics also noted that Melissa kept her own winning streak over 100 meters alive, so one streak ended while another continued. After the finish, Alfred did not pretend second place felt good. She said racing against a field of that quality felt great, then corrected herself because she was disappointed to finish second. That reaction tells you how much this race mattered. Alfred had just produced her best 100 of the season, but the result still felt like a loss. Melissa's own season has taken a different path. She does not own the fastest women's 100-meter time in the world this year. Adaejah Hodge has run 10.63, and Sha'Carri Richardson has run 10.77. Melissa's season best is 10.78, yet when the biggest names line up together, she keeps finding a way to be first. That was already clear on July 4th, 2026, at the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene. Melissa won in 10.78, Richardson was right behind in 10.79, and Hodge finished third in 10.80. Only 200ths separated the first three women, but Melissa still got the win. Silesia gave her a different kind of test. This time, the biggest pressure came from Alfred, the woman who had not lost all season. Melissa did not need a personal best or a world lead. She needed a clean race against a championship-level field, and that is exactly what she produced. It also changed the argument around who is actually racing best right now. Hodge owns the fastest time of 2026, and Richardson has also run faster than Melissa this year. But racing is not a ranking sheet. On August 23, all the old medals and season best numbers stopped mattering when the gun fired, and Melissa beat the women in the lanes beside her. That is why this rivalry has become so interesting. Go back to the Paris Olympics in 2024, and Alfred was the woman on top. She won Olympic gold in the 100 meters, while Melissa took bronze. At that point, Alfred had the biggest title in the event. Then the balance started to change. At the Prefontaine Classic on July 5, 2025, Melissa beat Alfred 10.75 to 10.77 into a strong headwind. It was their first 100-meter meeting since Paris, and Melissa ended Alfred's unbeaten start to that season. 2 months later, the rivalry reached the World Championships in Tokyo. On September 14, 2025, Melissa produced the race of her life, winning the 100 meters in 10.61. That was a championship record and moved her to 4th on the world all-time list. Tina Clayton took silver in 10.76, while Alfred finished 3rd in 10.84. Melissa did not stop there. 5 days later, on September 19, she won the world 200-meter title in 21.68. That made her the first American woman to complete the 100 and 200 double at a single World Championships, and she later added 4x100-meter relay gold. By the end of 2025, Melissa was no longer the bronze medalist chasing Alfred. She had become the world champion at both sprint distances and one of the hardest athletes in the sport to beat. But Alfred answered in 2026. On June 4th at the Rome Diamond League, the two met over 200 meters for the first time. Alfred won in 21.93, while Melissa finished 2nd in 22.17. That race mattered because it proved this rivalry was not becoming one-sided. Melissa had also started her season later than usual, so Rome gave her a clear look at where she stood. Over the next several weeks, her form sharpened quickly, and the results started to look much more like the athlete who dominated Tokyo. By July 26 at the U.S. Championships in New York, Melissa was flying over 200 meters again. She won the national title in 21.69, only 1/100th slower than her lifetime best. Cambria Sturgis finished 2nd in 22.22, more than half a second behind. That result showed Melissa still had the longer sprint strength that made her so dangerous in 2025. Then Silesia showed the sharpness over 100 was there too. Now look at where the rivalry stands. Alfred beat Melissa over 200 meters in Rome, while Melissa answered over 100 meters in Silesia. Over the shorter distance, Jefferson Wooden has now beaten Alfred in their last 3 meetings: Eugene in 2025, the World Championship final in Tokyo, and Silesia in 2026. The margins have not all been huge, and they do not need to be. Sprinting is decided in hundredths. What matters is that when these two have met over 100 meters recently, Melissa has kept finding the finish line first, and the next chapter comes almost immediately. On August 27, 2026, Melissa and Alfred are both set to race the women's 100 meters at Weltklasse Zürich. The meeting is promoting it as Olympic champion against world champion,